Hello, my name is Frances Fox, and I am a trained psychic spy, a trained remote viewer. I'm trained in interspecies communication, which has to do with communication with other beings. Um, I'm trained in all the psychic skills since I was a child. And apparently, when I was born with an inheritance that would have indicated that I would be gifted in psychic abilities. There has not been a lot of respect for people that are gifted in psychic abilities unless they wear white robes and they have one foot in India and a guru, an ashram, whatever, or you're a Buddhist monk. And I am none of those things. And people like me are none of those things. And we end up getting a lot less respect because we come through in this new paradigm that's opening up in the age of Aquarius in ways that don't quite fit with the old paradigm. In the old paradigm, age of Pisces, and I misspelled Aquarius because that's the way it's spelled in Spanish, ACQ. And here it looks correct. But anyway, I just wanted to explain that. In the age of Pisces, the epitome was Jesus Christ, who died crucified and who didn't have perhaps the respect he should have had at that point because he was bringing new information to the table and the authorities didn't like it. That the poster boy for the age of Pisces is Jesus Christ. We're entering a different age, the age of Aquarius, and the poster boy that I'm suggesting should be Elon Musk, um, who, yes, was victimized, was bullied a lot when he was a child, and still get bullied with all the people trying to go against him with lawsuits and accusations and trying to take him down because I have to assume it's because of jealousy. Um, it's a completely different age, but he is favored in the sense of the way people view him because he has earned so much money. He's earned so much money because he loves what he does. And even in the age that we're exiting now, those of us that did what we loved, we tended to earn more money than people that were just doing what they did because it was a good income and that's what they should be doing. That's what their father did. That's what they studied in school. So they had to work in it, but they didn't really love what they do. And therefore they would have less success. Now that's augmented, but it's a different time. So if you don't have your roller skates on, if you're trying to live with the old map of the age of Pisces, then know that the poster person is Jesus Christ. Now, do you want to end up like that? No, that was appropriate for that time. And I have no issue with Jesus because he was a shaman and he would have no issue with me. This is not a lack of respect. This is getting down to basics. Not buying what the people that used Jesus Christ as a marketing tool. Throw all of that away and just go to the basic man, how he lived and what he came to teach. It's really very simple. So, but unless you want to live like that, then it might be to your advantage to kind of know what we're getting into now. We're first place, we're in Revelation. So everybody's going to know everything. It's really embarrassing for people that have been getting away with lying for decades, if not hundreds of years. And now people are waking up and finding out. But they're not just finding out in terms of somebody releasing a piece of information that was secret. We don't even need for anybody to release anything. We're looking at stuff and going, why on earth have we allowed that? Why on earth did we believe this when it was right there in front of us? Now, one of the funny examples, in my opinion, is the Saint Teresa of Avila, who has a statue and a book, an autobiography in which she writes about her spiritual ecstasy. When you read her paragraph on her description of her spiritual ecstasy, and you look at the statue, that's a very famous world statue, you can find it in 2 minutes on the internet, you will see that her face is the face of somebody who's in the middle of an orgasm. Now, nobody saw that. I saw that, and when I pointed out, people look at it and go, oh my God. Nobody yet has said, no, Francis, you're wrong. Nobody, not a single person out of hundreds. They go, oh my God, you're right. And if you read her description, but we didn't see it. because apparently we have all these veils inside of us that don't let us see things the way they are. Well, those veils are coming up, and now we're kind of like horrified. So don't go into being horrified, or be horrified, but then take the time to figure out, what does this movement into this new era mean for you? Because you see, what is valued in the new era of the age of Aquarius, which is not people running around without clothes having sex with everybody. Okay? That's not what it is. Loving everybody, yes. Okay? As if they were equal, which we should be, yes. But not that distorted version that some people assumed what was going on in the 60s. Actually, what was going on in the 60s was rather beautiful. But you can't keep up a society with people running around loving each other like that. No, we kind of need to figure out, because that's the energy. We need to get this figured out. It's not us, them. It's we, we, we. So finding out what the characteristics are, so that you, your business, your company, your family can be supported by these new energies and be taken to even greater heights, would be very much to your advantage. And nobody's going to teach you this in regular mainstream media, because they don't work with the wide lens. They work with a smaller lens. What's happening today, what's happening now, what happened in your city, what's happening in your country. They don't have the wide lens. But the age of Aquarius is very much, for you to be able to live it successfully, you're going to have a wider lens. It's not just about you and your people. There is not you and your people. It's us. Age of Aquarius, us. It's all of us. We're all in this together. And the poster boy is very different than the poster boy and Jesus Christ, Elon Musk. Am I saying Elon Musk is like Jesus Christ? No, it's a different era. Is Elon Musk, sacrificing himself for us? Yes. He doesn't need to work anymore. He doesn't need to do all of those things. He could just know he could build a spaceship just for himself to go to Mars. He's not doing that. He's doing it for everybody. And if you don't believe that, that's okay. It's okay. So are they the same? The only way they're the same is one of the ways they're the same is that they're working for other people. But one did not end up well, which was Jesus Christ. And stop cringing. He didn't end up well. He ended up on a cross with his third eye completely blocked with that crown of thorns. And Elon Musk appears to be ending up well. So things are good. We're actually moving in a good direction. Not only that, but the poster boy for the age of Aquarius is now integrated into US government, a country that has been so selfish, a country that has dominated everybody else, now has Elon Musk in the middle of it. It's not good. The old behavior is not going to work. And then you have 2 or 3 people whose background is Hindi, which, yes, is supposed to be a religion, but from what I know of it, it's really a way of living that takes into account your energy systems, the different chakras. You don't even know what a chakra is. They know what the chakras are. They know what daily habits you need to keep your energy system in good working order. Whether they know what a chakra is assigned to that particular issue or not, it doesn't matter. The only thing we know about that is from the movie Star Wars, when they say, "May the force be with you." What they're saying is, we hope you're integrated with your spirit body, which is your astral body. Your astral body, by the way, astral particles are considered a force in Hinduism. Maybe that's the 4th force or the 5th force from science, the black matter. I don't know. Honestly, that type of science takes so long. Too long. We don't have time for that. So, age of Aquarius, vast augmentation in mental illness. It's over there. No. It's in your house, because it turns out that the age of Aquarius is also about a vast augmentation of technology, and technology radiates the element of fire. The element of fire, when there's an excess, creates more mental illness because element of fire is hot. And when you have a hot head, according to Chinese medicine and Ayurvedic medicine, that's mental illness. You can't be mentally ill unless your head is too hot. Whether you know it's hot or not, it doesn't really matter. You have too much of the fire element. Too much technology, no open windows, no contact with nature, too much fire inside, and especially our children are getting sick. 40% of our children are classified as mentally ill, according to that stupid book that the psychologists refer to, DMS-5 or whatever. All of those classifications are set up with a perfect match to a pharmaceutical product. So if you get diagnosed with this in that book, then you have to take these products over here. Well, that's marketing, and that's pretty good marketing. You want to sell this product? Then let's get all of those people, have their kids fall under this classification. And then the products over here, here's the classification, the DMS-5 or whatever book they're on now. And then, well, but we have something that can take care of that. We already know all about that. I had actually one of my therapists years ago. She had a thyroid issue. So for 20 years, she was on a particular medication. And when I was doing therapy with her, and I think it was probably not appropriate for her to tell me this, but she said that she had a problem because she had been on this medication for 20 years, and it turned out that that medication was going to end up killing her. That's American medicine. That is American medicine. 600 years old. Chinese medicine, over 2,000. Ayurveda, 5,000 years. With all their texts, with their Holy Bible, that includes medicine. I had somebody, Dr. Akhilesh Sharma, had a formula for the mind that reduced the fire, and he sold it to me, and he said, here's the document approval from the government. And okay, that's okay. And the document was his petition to the government. It was approved for this formula of herbs for the mind, and he had to refer to their Bible, the Vedas, Vedas, for references that would say that that particular herb would be good for this particular thing. So the government was approving something, a formula that was based on their Bible, which is just beautiful. And in Ayurveda, the doctors are considered priests, which I think has been traditional throughout history. You didn't have a priestly class and then a doctoring class, and your medicine woman was also your spiritual leader. And that is actually the way it should be, because we get sick and we become well in the other dimensions, and then the physical body is just a symptom. And I'm going to repeat this, and I've said it many times, and I don't do it, and I haven't done it lately, but too many times in the past 30 years, I've looked at somebody and said, if you don't make some kind of a change, you're going to have cancer in 2 years. Well, how would I know that? And I would say, well, no, I just went to the doctor. If you go to the doctor now, they're not going to find cancer because they're checking your physical vehicle. And this is not in your physical, it's in your energy field, it's in your energy bodies. And there you can take care of it like this. So you got 2 years to take care of it before it goes from your energy bodies to your physical body. And then your medical doctor can say, you have cancer. And then it's so much harder. But I did that with many people. I actually did it with a person that worked for me. I told her the exact date she was going to have a diagnosis of cancer. And at that point, I hadn't tracked myself enough to know. I just said, this is what I get. So she wrote it down. And when that date rolled around a couple of years later, she told me that she had to do some studies because she wasn't feeling so well. And when the nurse called to give her the follow-up appointment where the doctor would tell her what she had, which was the date that I told her she would be diagnosed 2 years before, she said, you know what? I'm not going to take that date. Give me a date in a couple more weeks. No, but didn't you want to know the results? No, I don't want to know the results. So she did have something of a diagnosis, but I think she had already worked on it, and she was hopping and skipping as fast as she could to make sure that that did not become true, which is the exact reason for prophecy. And that's not even prophecy. I could see it in her energy bodies. That's not prophetic for somebody outside of me. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that was a prophecy. Okay, so it was a prophecy. That's what prophecy is for, to tell you where you're going to end up if you don't get off that track that you're on. And that's why all the other doctors except modern medicine can do stuff that you would consider a miracle. Oh, it's a miracle. No, it's not a miracle. It was a really good diagnosis. I tell people everything should start with a really good diagnosis. And Mateo Cuaron, who does all our mantra music and the editing of all of our podcasts, said, I really loved the podcast yesterday. What part of it? He said, well, you said that you go to the doctor, you give them a list of symptoms, and then they tell you a name of what you've got, but they haven't really told you anything. Yes, that's modern medicine. Collection of symptoms, which is the DMS-5 collection of symptoms, except first they got the product, and then they went to the collection of symptoms. And then they hit the product and said, oh my God, you have this. So now, we got something. Oh my God. Have we been? Yes, we've been stupid. We've been dumb as a rock. Which brings into question things that I cannot talk about, which has to do with mind control. And so I'm going to suggest, there's somebody here on X. Her name is Kathy O'Brien, and she was a mind control victim. I have absolutely no doubt that she was a mind control victim. I don't know her stories. I've seen a couple of them. They kind of sound familiar. But she said, maybe it wasn't her that said that. Okay, I don't remember who it was then that said it, because I'm not sure that it was her, that cannabis, smoking pot, the CIA thought was really good for mind control victims if they wanted to wake up. So then I have to tell you that it doesn't matter whether you're a mind control victim or not. I hope you weren't, but we have all been mind controlled in society today. How they got it into us, it's another story, may or may not get into. But if the CIA says that this is good for clearing your subconscious, because that's what mind control is, working in your subconscious, then I think we should recommend that you guys all smoke pot. If you don't want to smoke it, why don't you take the little gels that they have for sleeping? And I can tell you that it is excellent for the mind. Because I discovered the mind streams, which are the cannabinoid receptors, and what science discovered about cannabinoid. What science discovered was that when people take cannabis, there's a system that are called cannabinoid, and they called it the cannabinoid receptors, and that cannabis is really good for them, and that it really relaxes people and reduces stress and does all the things that we're now learning that cannabis does. That system is a system of strings from string theory. Let's see how long it's going to take for the people, the scientists that work with string theory, to understand that we already figured it out over here. Darn, you can't do that. You have to have gone to such and such a university, and you have to get funding, and you have to do all these studies. No, you don't have to do any of that. You have to be able to see something, and then you have to be able to work with it enough years with enough testimonials and enough people saying this really works. And then you have to kind of match it up with whatever's known, which now I can match up with the cannabinoid receptor research, and then you should be home free, because it's really supposed to be about information, about helping people. It's not supposed to be about a group of Ivy League professors controlling information in our destiny. Nobody should be controlling it, including me. I'm giving information. You try it, you don't try it, you experiment, you don't experiment. But what you cannot do is limit yourself to systems that don't work and have never worked. How can we be the country? They have some studies that are done every year, and I don't have the link for you to, but if you can find it easily. I think it's like the 17 most developed countries, and it compares their medical system. And of the 70, and they've done this for several years, not just 1 year, the 17 most developed countries, the one with the most expensive medical system is the United States. But we already know that. Okay, well, things are more expensive here. Yeah. Okay, of the 17 most developed countries, the least effective medical system is the United States. So it's the most expensive, the least effective. What is it that we have to be proud of? Zero. Somebody should be proud of what they did to our minds that we were able to accept this for so many years. And we should all be very proud that Donald Trump is clear enough to have listened to a lot of voices and a lot of people and have understood that RFK is really committed in terms of his heart, his spirituality, and his mind. He's very bright to giving the American people decent medical care. And the interesting thing is that we're going to end up not being the most expensive medical system on the planet. I remember during the thing with the plague, because I don't use the other word, that India, can you imagine? India suggested a homeopathic remedy for the plague, which I'm sure would have worked. Oh my God. The screams across the planet. How irresponsible for the government of India to recommend a homeopathic remedy that costs like $12. I don't have one here. I usually have one. For the plague. No, 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 no. You have to get injected and you have to wear a mask and you can't be near people and you have to stand 6 feet away. And if your loved one is in the hospital, you can't go see them. In India, they recommended one homeopathic remedy. And I need to look up and find out which one it was because I don't remember. But I remember thinking, oh my God, there's an expression in Spanish, le cayó el 20 de mayo. 20th of May apparently was a big day in Mexican history of fighting. And it's like, it's going to be a 20th of May for India with everybody beating up on them. What is this? Independent thinking? No. No, 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 no. No independent thinking here. No taking a homeopathic remedy that's over 5,000 years old with hundreds of thousands of testimonials. They don't even need it. They all know it. Didn't make it for 5,000 years. It only made it because it worked, and nobody was making money to say that it worked or it didn't work. So when I saw that, I felt le cayó el 20. I'm sorry, it's not 20 de mayo, le cayó el 20. That's the expression. And does that have to be with the battle, Estela? I always found that so cute. So I don't know what ended up, but I am sure that India backed off real quick because you see, India's like a third world country. Oh my God. Ayurveda medicine is 5,000 years old. And I'm not going to say names, but there's somebody who worked in modern medicine whose mom was in a wheelchair and then worked with an Ayurvedic physician, and mom got out of the wheelchair. A miracle. No, it's not a miracle. It's information on where you got sick. There was no battle. Well, but where did it come from, Estela? Or is it 20 people that landed? She says there was no battle. Le cayó el 20. Whatever. It's a cute expression. So I talked enough. Age of Aquarius. If you're in business, you need to get this figured out. And I don't think you're going to find a lot out there because for somebody in the business world to be comparing age of Pisces and the age of Aquarius, it would be very unusual. It would just be somebody like me. There's not that many people that were trained to have such a wide lens that actually is in the business world. There are people that can tell you, like Buddhist monks, in terms of the stuff that's happening in society, the why and what might come next, people that are really into deep spirituality. But very few people would apply it to business or would apply it to stuff that's mundane daily life. And the reason that I can do that is not just because I was required to look at everything from a very wide lens. I was also required to find the things and to understand things so that they would be useful. That was because I was being trained by military. I wasn't trained in a monastery or in a spiritual tradition where just something being spiritual would be good enough. Okay. Estela said, le cayó el 20 means that somebody has understood something that they hadn't understood before. So, and that being said, I have a document that I wrote when I got a very large contract, a mining contract. And I was trying to figure out how to kind of explain what I could do. And that document is, darn, I don't even know that. That document is really, really important and blocked by spirits because I never remember the name of the document. And if you look for it on my website, you will struggle to find it. I'm going to find it right now. And let's see if we can't win. Give me a second. And I am going to take the moment to do this. Give me a second. Okay. We are going to find this. Nope. Give me one more second. Okay. It is called the Fox Multidimensional Business Plan. Isn't that wordy? And this is the link to it. So here it is. Okay. This is the document that I put together to kind of explain to the family what it was that I would be doing. I don't think they paid much attention. But basically, you should read this, and this will help to widen your lens so that you can enter this age of Aquarius that we are entering safer because you'll know more of the rules. If we are in Revelations and everything is going to be revealed, one of the first things that's getting revealed are aliens, which we already know in the US government. They finally, we're allowed to believe in them because it was up in the congressional hearing. We're finally allowed. We think we're so independent in the United States. We're not independent at all. At all. There is no independent thinking in this country. There is hierarchy that is airtight, and you cannot have an independent thought, including that you can cure cancer. Who would dare to say that? Not in this country. You'll get gone. Anyway, read it. And then read it again in 3 months. And then read it again in 3 months. And maybe you'll go, I wonder if maybe the reason our business went down is because we moved into this wonderful location, but the people that were here previously went bankrupt. The 2 previous owners went bankrupt. Maybe we're living off of the energy of bankruptcy. Aha! Widening the lens. So then, why don't you clear the spaces? How do you do that? Oh, I can get some incense and I can get some sage. Oh my God. Sage only works on the spirits that are kind of okay. The really bad ones, they laugh at the sage. And the incense sticks, they don't even bother addressing that. It's a whole world out there. Let's go ahead and go into mantras, the healing part of this chat podcast. And let's get you out of your comfort zone and into the, even though I'm afraid to be a master, which means you would be mastering your third eye, your fluoride sickened third eye. You'd be mastering that. And that means it's the all-seeing eye. And it also is where wisdom is, which is what's important. It's not just to see everything, it's to know what's important. What's important has to do with your intentions. So we're going to do the purification mantra. Give me a second while I type it. Even though I am afraid to be a master, I love and accept myself. Okay, we're going to do this. You repeat the mantra in silence and you expel the breath through your mouth. And if you listen to and watch the images on the mantra music video I'm going to put on right now, it is also conducive towards these energy centers. The energy center that has your third eye is your third eye energy center called Anja, A-N-J-A. And you can take your breath there. And let's get the music going, the mantra music, for 10 minutes. Okay. So what are we doing here? We're trying to deal with what is apparently a natural resistance on humans today to mastering life on planet Earth, which includes the ability for miracles, magic, superpowers. That's why all the children are into all those programs and shows having to do with superpowers. That's why there's so much interest in magic. We're scheduled for this now. We're actually scheduled before, but a decision was made by the overlords of this planet, which, oh, you don't believe in that. That's okay. You just been allowed and given permission to believe in aliens now, according to the government. Meanwhile, they've been dealing with them for 50, 100 years, whatever. But okay, so you have to get used to that. Okay, you just got permission to believe in aliens. And if there are aliens, then there's some kind of hierarchy. And there is a hierarchy that supervises planet Earth. And they made a decision after we detonated the A bomb at the second of the, after the, when the Second World War had already ended, and they decided that maybe human beings weren't ready for superpowers. So they prolonged it 30, 40 years. And here we are again. We're scheduled for, it's available. It's in our third eye, the fluoride. Let's get that cleaned off. And let's get cleaned off and cleaned up and finished with the fact that if you're interested in the third eye, that you are part of a conspiracy that wants to dominate everybody else. Actually, if you get in contact with your third eye and become operational, which is what I would like for you, you will be able to dominate other people because you're going to be able to see stuff. It gives you a little bit of a, what you could call an unfair advantage because you have more information, because that's what the third eye is about. It's about the all-seeing eye. Science determined a couple of decades ago that there were eye cells in the middle of the forehead that maybe at some point in time humans did have a third eye. Yeah, okay. So we're going to wait for science, right? Or should we go directly to science fiction and just use that as a foundation, because science is really not going to help you with this age that we have entered. So I am going to suggest something. I am going to suggest that you start to get into training having to do with the other dimensions. We already have 2 or 3 people associated with Hinduism, part of the US government. Hey, hey, hey. I just put this up. I want you to type into Google or whatever search engine. Google is a pain in the neck. Oh my God. I can't find anything there anymore. Whichever search engine you like. Elon Musk, hurry up with the search engine. And what's your disease? You have kidney failure or you have diabetes. Go ahead and put 1. Okay. What chakra is associated with that particular condition or disease? And then start to read up on it. Not necessarily on that same first page, but just go look at a lot of pages and see what they have to say about that energy center, that chakra. And you will have started your process of being more in command of your health, rather than leaving it to a system that we're still operating on in this part of the world that's based on profit. This is this has got to be the first time in history that medicine, you have a medical system that's based on profit. Supposedly, I'm not sure this is true. In China, you don't pay the doctor unless he's able to take care of you and you're well. If you keep being sick, you don't pay the doctor. I'm not sure that story is true, but it sure sounds good. That's not the case here. I mean, I swear, every time I ask somebody, well, how's your mother? Oh, she went to the doctor and she's got this, okay. And the diagnosis, no, it's not good. Okay. But the doctor is really nice. I don't want to hear about a nice doctor. Obviously, they took courses, bedside manner. They didn't take enough courses in your physical body and the kind of foods you should put into it or any of the other stuff. So find out what chakra energy center is associated with your particular disease or condition. Okay. and you might find it interesting. And then look up what homeopathic remedy is recommended, and then start to do your research on that remedy, and not just what they say. This is good for diabetes, or this is good for your kidneys. What else does it say? Because the homeopathic remedies, a big thrust of it has to do with your personality. In other words, they actually have entire books that say this remedy is for people with these characteristics. And they're not talking about a broken leg or the veins that don't work. They're talking about personality characteristics. So this remedy, this is the characteristics of the person that this remedy would be good for. It's fascinating, and it's so accurate. It is so accurate. It's so much more fun. Really, it's so much more fun, and you're going to feel so much more powerful. So every time somebody gets sick, you run over to the computer, you find out what energy center, and then you start looking for the color that's good for that center. What kind of oils? That's easy enough. You're not going too much out of your paradigm if you go look for an oil that's good for you. And then what is that oil? What other things does it take care of? Because maybe you have those other things too. It's a lot more fun. You have to be a bit of a detective, but it's a lot more fun. Then coming back from the doctor, he said, I have such and such a name. He didn't tell you what organ. He didn't tell you why it broke down. He did give you a medication. And he told you you're going to have to be on that for a long time. He basically hooked you into him and into the system and into that medication. Okay, enough about that. Thank you for listening. I'm Frances Fox, and we'll see you again. Okay? Love you a lot.